Tobin Bereznak in Westminster, Colorado, and today we're gonna build a wall. Actually, 3 walls. This video contains several sections. There are how-to videos, there are time lapses, there are photos, etc. I wanted to catalog my building of the terrace to share and for my own historical purposes. For this reason, the video is lengthy, and so I've placed a table of contents with timestamps into the description of the video. Please refer to it and skip forward if you wish. Thank you. Okay, so here's the project. It's 3 walls. We're gonna build 3 walls out of railroad ties. We're gonna create a terrace and plant grapes on the outer edge of the wall. We're gonna do it in a very close proximity in 1 row. We're gonna have 2 curtains above. It's called a Geneva double curtain training method. And it'll give me twice as much canopy space as ground space. It'll also give me a place to walk underneath. These are trailing grapes, so the fruit will be up high where we want in the sun to ripen, and the leaves will trail down from the curtain. Inexpensive compost. All you do is take organic matter and bury it. It's that easy. Now let's talk about wall design. So if we built the wall with 5 or 6 ties straight stacked on top of one another, it would ultimately fail because of all the earth above it would be pushing it down the hill. It would look great for a couple years, but that wall would collapse eventually. To circumvent that, we put in what's called dead man. A dead man is an inward facing tie anchored to a sideways, parallel to the wall tie. Now you want to do this about halfway up. It's tied together with 2 pieces of rebar on either side. As you fill it in, it creates an anchor on the interior of the wall that you don't see, but is necessary in order to keep the wall standing straight up and down. So I also built the wall right in front of this tree. If it ever pushes too far, it's gonna push into the tree and it won't go anywhere. Now there are other ways to do this. So on one of them, I used a piece of wire around an anchor on the end of the wall and then around a railroad tie. And then I twisted it to tighten it up. This is barbless wire, it's pretty strong, it's galvanized. It should last a long time, even underground. Down below, I used the same wire, but I drove in T-posts at an angle. So another concern when you're building these walls is watershed. As water comes down the hill, it pushes against the wall. And a lot of times what you'll see people do is put, gravel, aggregate, some sort of easily permeable material that's just gonna let the water go down and out instead of pushing on the wall. Let's talk about the tools you'll need. We'll start with things you need and then things that are just nice to have. Hat, gloves. I've used cotton and these ones that are coated with a thin rubber. They're still somewhat disposable, but I'm leaning towards these because they add a little bit more shock absorption. Tape measure and something to mark with, a piece of rebar. An angle grinder with a cutoff wheel for cutting the rebar. 1/2-inch drill. You need a strong one, 17.5-inch length and a 5/8 inch bore. Sawzall, sledgehammer. This is for pounding in rebar. Shovel. And now for the nice to haves. Pry bar, because we all make mistakes. Tamper. Hook. On a swivel, this is a logger's hook. I use it to get extra reach. And I found this to be really useful. It's a paint marker. To cut these things, you use the circular saw around all 4 edges, and then you cut down the middle with the sawzall. You'll go through a few of these. I think I'm on my 3rd blade. Just plan on using them up because these railroad ties are full of dirt, they're full of tar, and they're gonna dull your blade. Just get the cheap ones. Now there are 2 options for putting the ties together and keeping them that way. Rebar, this is 1/2 inch, number 3 rebar, and then spikes. I would say this is better as long as you have the drill bit. You can do this without the drill bit, and it's just a lot more work. So I cut these to be the same length. It creates a hole that's just as deep as the rebar. I put an angle grinder and I clamp it down, and I clamped onto the trigger and plug it in. Clamps got metal shavings stuck to them, and it melted the plastic. This part was getting the metal part hit. That looks okay. I went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a couple things to note. You want to stagger them. One long, one short. I put rebar down through. I put a dead man in the middle. That's that other railroad tie that just sticks through. I'm going to cover that with plastic too, because I don't want the grapefruits to grow into it. Oh, good morning. It's about 10 a.m. September 19th. Let's cut a tie and put it here. These things are about 100 pounds. First step, make 4 cuts. Second step, cut it the rest of the way. Let's set this tie here. So I went in up to about right there. I did go through the bottom tie. I've cut this rebar so it's the same length. Sometimes they just go in, and sometimes you need to encourage them. So I'll do one here, and I'll do one there. I found that it helps to clear the bit, pull the bit back out while it's still going. Let all those wood chips come out. So that one's in place. I'll do another one down there, and then a full one on top of it. The planting, I want to do it sustainably, effectively, inexpensively. I've gotten some dirt from a neighbor, so inexpensive. Effective, not so much. It's not very fertile. You want anywhere you plant anything to be highly organic, natural. Picture the forest floor. It's got lots of decaying matter. You need waste, which is a form of nitrogen, and you need carbon, which is grass, tree trunks, grape skins and seeds. There's a winemaker in the area that I'm in contact with. He presses his grapes, he gets the juice out, he makes the wine with it, but he's got all this extra seeds and some stems. It's harvest season, very busy time of the year. This is what I'm going to use to inexpensively enrich the soil or the clay or whatever. We have a lot of clay in Colorado, so this is part clay. It's a little bit better than clay, but it's not really good enough to grow grapes. That I'd much rather enrich it, and this is an inexpensive way to do it. The only drawback is that it takes more time. 10 years, 20 years, it'll still be good at that point, as long as I continue to add organic matter and let the chickens run around here. This will last 20, 25 years in the ground, allow places for the roots to grow, and it'll draw bacteria to the area. Yeah, you can see behind me, I took a neighbor's tree out, and I just threw all the branches here. I'm gonna let that sit for a year. That's what I've been doing with this whole area, actually. It's been just sitting for years and years. And now on top of that, I'm placing this terrace system. The roots over maybe 5, 7 years might grow deep enough to actually hit that area. Now this is a north-facing hill. The sun is gonna be in the southern portion of the sky. And now that's not ideal. I'm reducing the amount of rows I'm gonna plant. One big row, actually. This one will have 2. This one's gonna be a double. It'll allow for more canopy space, more shade. It'll encourage the chickens to be here. Lots of leaves will fall here. They'll scratch around, they'll look for bugs. They'll poop, which will bring bugs, which will make them scratch around and look for bugs. You see where this is going. Circle of life. So that makes 4 then. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 new rows, about 30 feet long probably. I'll pack the vines in pretty densely actually, because it'll have double the canopy space. And I've added so much area for the roots to expand. Well, I guess I should get some work done. Stop talking. Thanks for listening. Any comments, questions, please, welcome. Don't forget to like. So yesterday I got half of the second terrace built, and today I'm going to focus on the lower area. I'm going to cut down the brush so it compacts a little bit, and I need to start working on reinforcing that wall so I can fill it in with some of this dirt. All right, let's put this ground anchor in. So I'm cutting these 6-foot T-posts in half, and this part goes in the ground, and this part goes down the holes in the wall, tie them together with wire. Pound this in, little teeth, uphill, pound it at an angle, uphill. Far enough so the big blades are submerged. Drill a hole, masonry bit. That wire. So this is a pain. You gotta fold it. Well, if you have the same kind of wall as I do. Pinch it so it gets through the hole and weaken the parts beyond it. When you get it through, finally, you can bend it open and the T-post will fit inside. Now I've created an opening. Put this down in. Wrap that around, down low. We use one of these million sticks we have around. You want to do it the same way, you tighten the other one. I wrap this one this way and this one the other way, so that when I tighten, it's spinning the same way. All right, and that's that. And no one will ever know, because the post is on the inside. That's it for the T-post ground anchors for the very bottom wall. We got 6 of them. There, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Well, this is nice. We're just watching the chickens. We got 3 there that grew up together, and there's another twosome down there, and there's a little silky bantam somewhere. So the breeds of the chickens are, we got two Americanas and a barred rock there. There's a buff rock, a white rock, and a silky bantam. There's the white rock, there's the buff rock. I haven't seen the silky. Oh, there's her head down there. There she is. This is Whitey, our top bird. Hey, sweetie. She's laying eggs right now, and so she's constantly looking for food. And there's Rockefeller. That's a barred rock. She's a year old, and so is Whitey. They're both a year and a half right now. I'm gonna make some pathways to each terrace, and I want them to be accessible, so they'll be angled. Wow, this is peaceful. This is nice. It's about 5 p.m. 5 p.m. in Colorado. It's September 20th. All right, see you tomorrow. Well, it's a bit rainy today and yesterday, and it's super muddy. I didn't want to bring the camera out to get any footage, but then I realized that I wanted to capture the stairs being built, so that's what I'm working on today. Today I hope to get the top terrace started and set trellis posts using 6x6 cedar, and I'm putting 45-degree pieces in to strengthen it. Set the post in place with 2 bolts, through bolts, nuts, and washers. Check it for level. It leans out a little bit. I'm gonna wait to put in the 45 piece because I want to save everything here. Boy, it's a little wet out. So these are all stems from grape clusters. They're left behind after the wine is made, and they're great for biodecomposition. I hit the dirt, but it didn't stick. Is this the lazy man's method of fertilizing? You decide. Well, the sun finally came out, and today I can dig. It's nice because it's not as dusty, and I get to get a workout again. For the stairs, I'm gonna do a gradual sort of sun ray spiral up to the main area. So there we go. Tamping. As I was working on this, I made every railroad tie aim towards the same point, which actually lies inside of this wall. I'll show you what I mean, I guess. Check this out. So as you're walking down, I do want it to be flat here, but here's a view. You can see what I mean about the point that lies inside of the higher wall. Yeah, pretty proud of this. Looks nice. Who would have thought you could build a spiral staircase out of railroad ties? I've started painting the railroad ties that are the stairs for safety. Well, it's only 3, and I've been inside for the past 2 days, so I'm gonna keep going down the wall. As I was setting I was drilling a hole for this tie, for this dead man support tie, and the drill stopped working, and it's stuck in there now. So this is its permanent home. I guess I don't have to put rebar in that one, but I did have to go get another auger bit. Here's my fertilizer crew. And these chickens are finally starting to lay eggs. We just got the brown and the white and this little pup. Let's see if I can catch her. I got her. This is a silky bantam. What's up, Puff? Well, I'm having so much fun with the stairway that I've decided to add 2 more steps at the top and keep going with the spiral pattern. I'm going to use the stump at the top for one side of one of the steps. All right, let's see how we did. All right, good. It's gonna be something like that. Probably like that, right there. Alright, this is my vision. Gonna move these last ties today using a cart. Best way to move them is to only lift one side at a time. And you can pivot them on a center, but this tie needs to go over there. So common question is how heavy, and I'd say about 100 pounds on average. So I'm cutting this railroad tie. I've already cut around. Normally, I would take this, and I'd like to go quickly, so you can weaken it and then break it. Sometimes this works. You can hear it start to go. Sometimes it doesn't. Maybe I'll just go for another one like this. This should work. Ready? Whoops. So here's a fun one my dad taught me. If you ever have an extension cord or garden hose that you need to throw, you make 2 loops and hold one in each hand and throw. Ready? Yeah. Well, I'll be damned if my drill didn't stop working. It is a cheap one, and I don't want to buy one because I don't use these things very often, but when I do need them, it's nice when they work. It works in reverse, but when I switch it to forward, I get nothing. And I was able to play with the switch a little bit and get it to make contact, so it might be repairable. Another thing I'm going to do is take away this auto on. Why you would design a drill with this feature is beyond me. It actually got stuck in the railroad tie when the drill bit got stuck in there, and it got stuck on. So it just sat there and wound up all the electric cord. So yeah, we're going to try to fix this one. We're not going to take too much time on this, but I got screwdriver, pick, needle nose pliers, little baby screwdriver, and some sugar and vitamins. Well, that's not too bad. It's just a trigger, directional control trigger, auto on lock feature, motor, contact. Okay, so the directional control actuates this little plastic bar, which makes contact somewhere inside that switch thing. Well, I was able to fix the auto on feature. The best I can probably do is just hook it up in always forward mode. It goes forward, but not reverse now. Forward works fine. Well, forward it is. With the given height of the wall, I'm actually going to do two methods of ground anchoring here. I'm going to use the dead man, and I'm going to actually tie the dead man in other parts of the wall, down lower actually. So here's my reinforcement strategy. We got 2 wires and 1 beam coming in. I could do another wire here to up here. Yeah, let's do one more. I find it always helps to pre-bend wherever the bends are supposed to be. Link these together. Push this around this way. Twist this one around the other way. Okay. And a rebar. Okay, and once it's twisted, it's gonna be that way for a long time. I do not like nicking myself on these edges, so I always try to bend them back in a way. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Definitely like and subscribe. If you want to see more of this stuff, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments.